Hello, everyone. This is going to be the first in a series of lessons that a teacher can use within a 45-minute period to help the students learn. Now, what is different about this system? This system is designed around active, student-centered learning tasks. So this comes from the We Can Students Book 1, Unit 1, Lesson 1. Now, we have 2 lessons a week, 4 in 2 weeks. I recommend that at the beginning of the year, we take the first unit and we make it go a little bit longer than 4 periods for the students, not only to learn, but to learn how to use the tools as I will demonstrate. So let's have a look of, this is a page from the book. The big question is, what are we going to learn and be able to do in this lesson? Now, the we signifies the student. If you say what I'm going to teach, then it's teacher-centered. If you say what are we going to learn, then it is student-centered. Now, in order to help the students learn, we need to create active lessons. But before we can create any active lessons, we need to know what are we going to learn and what are we going to be able to do. So let's start with listening. In this lesson, we, the students, can hear a word and know which picture it is. So we're going to start with the words that appear here on the page, but we're only going to do it in a listening format. We're not going to do it in writing. This is called language. When people listen and speak, it's called language. In a later lesson, we will do it in print. So the students will be able to read the words for the pictures, and they will be able to write some of the letters for those words at the beginning. So which words are we going to learn? Let's have a look here. We've got bag, we've got pencil, we've got book, and we've got seat. So here are the pictures: bag, pencils, book, window, the seats, and these appear on page 3 of the book. In the speaking, what will the students be able to do? We, that's the students, can see a picture and say the word for it. And of course, it's going to be the same words because you hear them and learn them through hearing, and then you'll be able to see them. So in this lesson, we're going to focus on the listening, and then we'll focus on the speaking. One more time. We can hear a word and know which picture it is. So let's focus on bag and pencil as a demonstration. First, before the students can do anything, they need to learn how to use the tool. This is called a yes-no tool. In our series, we're going to put a lot of tools. This is just one of the tools of the learning. And the teacher says the word first, bag. Then the teacher clicks and the picture appears on the screen, if you notice. And the students are going to say yes or no in a low voice. Please do not accept shouting and do not accept repeating after the teacher, which is a classical conventional way. But there are many reasons why repeating after the teacher is not a good way. And we can explain that with the rationale and the pedagogy behind it as well. Therefore, let's look at it again. The teacher says the word first, bag, puts the picture on the screen, and all the kids say yes, because bag and what they see on the screen is the same. However, as we progress, the teacher says the word, the same word, because that's the word we're learning, bag. The teacher puts the picture on the screen. Is it a bag? No, but please don't talk too much as a teacher. Just say bag, flash the picture of a pencil on the screen, and the students will say no. Remember, no shouting, no repeat after the teacher. All the students have got to do is say yes or no. Now, let's demonstrate. For the students to do this, we need to demonstrate the tool first. They need to learn how to use the tool. So this is a demonstration at the moment, not the actual lesson. Let's see what we need to do. The teacher will say, look at the picture, listen to the word. Now we're learning the word. Look at the picture, listen to the word, and the teacher will say, bag. The teacher will put a different picture, because what we want to do is to see different images of the same word, not always the same picture. Look at the picture, listen to the word, bag. Good. Now, pencil. Look at the picture, listen to the word, pencil. Look at the picture, listen to the word, pencil. Have you noticed that the pencil changes in the image? So the student can hear the word pencil, but more than one pencil appears. Pencil. Now, let's apply it. Listen. Now, look at the actual application. We do not say look at the picture first. We say listen to the word. Look at the picture, say yes, no. The teacher will say the word, bag. Is there anything on the screen? No. This heightens the attention with anticipation from the students to see what the picture is going to be. And the bag, the word bag, please don't write it. This is all in language, but we've written it for the teacher so you know what you're doing, okay? The student's version will not have the words. This is for the teacher. The teacher will say bag, then a picture of a bag will appear after maybe a second or two or three, and the teacher will look at the students, and the students will say yes, because they heard bag, they saw a picture of a bag. Now, don't let the students say yes or no until after 2 to 3 seconds. Here's an example again. Listen to the word I say, bag. Look at the picture. 1, 2, 3, now. Yes, the students will say. Let's try that again. Bag. Is it a picture of a bag? No. So 1, 2, 3, the students will say no. Bag. The students will say yes. So when you have the remote control, you are in control of what the student, or how fast the student will say it. Pencil. The students are going to say yes. The teacher will say pencil. Put a picture up. The students will say yes. Pencil. The teacher will put a picture up. The students will say no. Pencil. Put a picture. The students will say yes. Now, do the previous sequence that we just did 2 to 3 times if necessary. So you can go back from the beginning, not all the way to the beginning, just the application part. You do it 2 or 3 more times so that the brain of the students, the memory of the students, will retain the image and the word for that picture. Now, speaking part. Again, here's the book. There are 2 pages. I just showed you 1 page. And in this speaking, the students will say, we can see a picture, and say the word for it. And again, we're going to concentrate on the words that we just learned. Let's learn the tool. What shall we do first? The teacher puts the picture on the screen. The teacher gives a signal after 5 seconds, but it can be 2, 3 seconds. So the signal should be with your hand, the tap of a pencil. In listening and speaking, there should be as little disruption from the teacher or from external noise as possible. You know, for example, don't hear a word and clap, because clap is noise that will disrupt the listening. And after the students clap, which is a physical act, it might take a little time for them to go back and concentrate. And when the teacher gives the signal, the students say the word for the picture on the screen to each other in pairs in a low voice. Again, do not accept shouting. And the kids will say back. Let's have a look at it again. You, as the teacher, put the picture up on the screen. and then count on your fingers like 1, 2, 3, point to the students or signal with the tap of a pencil or show with your hand. And after you give the signal, the students are going to say bag. Got it? All right, that's a tool. Now let's look at the speaking tool in application. So we can do that for pencil and everything else. Remember, let's try it again. The teacher puts the image up of the word that they learned through listening, pencil. The teacher gives a hand signal after 2 to 4 seconds. Then the students will say the word for what they see, pencil. All right, now this is a problem here. We need to fix it. So let's have a look again one more time. The teacher puts the picture on the screen like this. The teacher gives a hand signal after 2 to 4 seconds. The students say the word for the picture to each other in pairs in a low voice. Do not accept shouting, very important. And the kids will say pencil. So please disregard the first slide. Now, let's demonstrate how to use the tool, then apply. Look at the picture. Wait for my signal. Say the word for the picture to each other in a low voice. That's what the teacher is giving instructions. Now, remember, the students don't know much English, but it is imperative that the teacher always speaks accurately and correctly. The teacher puts up the picture, waits 2 to 3 seconds, and the kids will say, bag. The teacher will put up a picture. Notice it's a bag again, but it's a different picture of a bag. And the kids will say, bag. Let's try it. The teacher puts up a picture, gives a signal after 2 to 4 seconds, and the kids will say, pencil. Now, bag, pencil. Those are the words. Now, let's raise the level of the tool. Look at the pictures, wait for my signal, say the words for the pictures to each other in a low voice in the direction of the arrow. So we raised now the level of the speaking. You put 2 pictures, don't allow them to speak when they see the first picture. Then the second picture, then you give a signal, and the kids will say, bag, pencil. So part of this is, first of all, you need to say 2 words, which raises the level of the challenge. And second, what is really, really important is we're looking at left to right in English. So let's try it again. Look at the pictures, wait for my signal, say the words for the pictures to each other in a low voice in the direction of the arrow. Remember, put your hand up as telling them not to speak now, and you put picture 1, picture 2, and the kids have to say the words in the order of the arrow. And they will say, pencil, bag, pencil. So let's show it again. We raise the level to 3 pictures instead of 2. All right, so the order here of the PowerPoint was incorrect. We can fix that, just give us a second. So we have fixed the mistake. It should look like this. The teacher says, look at the pictures, wait for my signal. Say the words for the pictures to each other in a low voice in the direction of the arrow. Again, make sure that nobody speaks when the first and second picture or the third picture appear. They should be waiting until you give the signal. So you put up picture 1, 2, 3, and then you give a signal, and the kids will say pencil, bag, pencil. Now you can change that around. You can put bag, bag, pencil. You can put pencil, pencil, bag. This is the level of now speaking for a picture. Now that the students have learned the tool and are able to apply it, we can do the same for all the other words on the first 2 pages of the book. We're going to do that right now. What are the rest of the pictures? Let's go back to the listening and the speaking. So the first 2, they were demo to learn the tool. Now, once that tool is learned, you can use it in other units. So now we're going to focus on book, window, and seat. Let's go to the listening part. What does the teacher do? He shows them book, says book, and after you demonstrated book, you say book, you put a picture. What will the kids do? They will say yes. Then you say book again, but you put up a picture of a different book so that they don't get used to it. As soon as we start to get used to something, our attention starts to drop. That's why we changed the picture of the book. So you said book, then you put the picture of the book on the screen, and then you give a signal, and the kids will say yes. You say book, you put a picture of something that's not a book on the screen, and the kids will say no. Then you say book again, you put a picture of something, and the kids are going to say yes or no, right? You put a picture of a book again, and the kids will say yes. So this is called a tool. It has an input, which is the word heard and the picture seen. What will the brain do? The brain will match in the brain the picture that they saw to the word that they heard. Remember, they're not reading these words. These are the words that the teacher is saying. Okay, let's try it again. So now we're going to work on window. So after you demonstrate and you say the word window for real window in the classroom, and now they can hear the word window. So what will the teacher do? The teacher will say window. And then after 1 or 2 seconds, put the picture on the screen. So does the window match the word that they heard? And the kids will say yes. Then you put the picture of the window should appear afterwards. This is a mistake in the order of the PowerPoint. So you say window, a picture of a window appears, and the kids will say yes. Then you say window. Now the students don't know what the next picture is going to be. Is it going to be window or something else? So the attention of the child is heightened, and you put a picture, and your mind tells you that I know what a window is, and this does not look like a window, and you will say no. But you always end the task with a yes. So you put window, you put a picture of a window, and the kids will say yes. Now let's go to another word, seat. Now we're not talking about chair. Any place you can sit down, or when we tell a person have a seat, they can have a seat on a chair or on an armchair or on an airplane seat. So normally we say, for let's say when you sit down in a car, we call that the seat. On an airplane, that's called the seat. In the classroom, that's called a seat. Regardless of whether the seat looks like a chair or an armchair or an airplane chair or even a bench, have a seat. So this is the seat. What shall we do? The teacher will say the word seat, puts up a picture after a second or two, and the kids will say yes. The teacher will say the word seat again, seat. And the picture appears, and the students will say yes. The teacher will do it again, seat. Picture, the kids will say no. Then we do it again. You say the word seat. 1 or 2 seconds later, you put a picture, and the kids will say yes. So we need to repeat this 2 to 3 more times if necessary, so that the kids do not have to go home and memorize. They learn these within the classroom. Now, it would be ideal if we can have a recording for the kids later in the semester, or as we design new learning materials, so that the kids can take these, or they can scan a QR code and they can see the pictures and hear the word for them. Now, we need to demonstrate the tool and then apply. For speaking, notice that speaking is in green. Now, you tell the students, look at the picture, wait for my signal, say the word for the picture to each other in a low voice. Remember, this is the first time they're doing this, so If it takes longer, don't worry. They need to learn the tool, because then they can reuse the tool on other pages in the book to learn new words. You put a picture, and then you give a signal, and the kids will all say book. Again, you put a picture. Notice now, you don't have to repeat the instructions every time. You just say the word book. If you keep saying, look at the picture, wait for my signal, say the word for each picture, you are distracting the student. Go straight for the word after you say the instructions. So you put a picture, you signal to the kids, and the kids will say book. Then you put another picture, you tell the kids to wait 2 to 3 seconds by holding your hand up, and then you signal, and the kids will say window. Then you put up another picture, you signal to the kids after 2 to 3 seconds, and the kids will say window. So notice again that in the previous picture, it's a window. In the next picture, it's a window, but they're not the same window. And in an ideal world, if we have more time, we should have 3 to 4 different pictures of a window. So the focus is on the word window, but it's not only one picture that looks like a window. In the brain, we need to do several pictures of window. Window. Let's try now another word. You put up a picture. After 2 to 3, 4 seconds, you signal the kids. Why do we signal? Why don't we accept it? Because some kids are faster than others, and some kids maybe need a few more seconds for the brain to remember the word. This way, everybody's getting the chance. Whereas in the traditional classical classroom, we hear only the people who know it first, which leaves the rest of the class out. And after a while, the rest of the class starts to listen instead of speaking. So you put up the picture, you signal, and the kids will say seat. You put up another picture of the same object, you signal, the kids will say seat. So again, once is not enough. You need to do this more than one time for the students to learn it. Let's raise the level of the speaking tool. Look at the pictures, wait for my signal, say the words for the pictures to each other in a low voice in the direction of the arrow. Make sure that you don't have 1 or 2 or a few students saying the words as they appear. So the students need to get used to the fact that they have to wait until the first one, the second one, the third one appears, and then you give a signal, and the kids will say, book, window, seat to each other. Let's try it again. You put up the pictures. Remember, they cannot talk now. They cannot talk. They cannot talk. You give the signal, and they will say, book, seat, window. You might want to do 2 pictures instead of 3, but that's what we mean by raising the level. So saying 3 words for 3 pictures that they see is a higher challenge than saying 1 word for 1 picture that they see. Again, repeat the sequence if it is necessary. It depends on the students. Because if the students already know how to say these words and you're just reminding them, then you don't have to repeat it 100 times.